transformational leadership. And I want to begin by a quote by Dr. Miles Munro. I learned a lot from this great man. And though he has left us, we still learn from him because, generals never die, they just fade away. He said that, I quote, "True leaders do not manipulate others, they inspire them." I'm going to mention briefly the 4 factors of production on your screen: land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Simply put, you can't do any business without land. Nothing. For example, if you need to build a school, you need land. If you need to put up a butchery, you need land. If you need to put up a pharmacy, you need land, whether it's your own building or rental. Even technology companies like Facebook, it has huge chunks of land for its servers. Amazon, which is a tech company, has hundreds of thousands of acres. Near where I live, they have very many warehouses. They are a tech company, but with huge acreage. Even if you work from your house, you're working from somewhere. That is still land. Now, then we have labor. Labor means simply human beings are the drivers of business. You can't do business without people. No matter the technology, you need people. Capital now means the technology, the equipment, the machines, the money. Capital means the cash you bring into the business, the equipment, the technology, all that is capital. Enterprise is the complicated one, so it's easier to define the entrepreneur. The businessman is the person who takes the risk. The entrepreneur is the risk taker who is innovative. It's the innovative risk taker. Now, the capacity of the entrepreneur is what we call enterprise. The enterprise is the ingenuity, the capacity, the persona of the entrepreneur. And that's what we will focus on. We will focus on enterprise and one aspect of enterprise, which is transformational leadership. But you agree with me, we just can't go to transformational leadership before we talk about leadership. Because if there is such a thing as transformational leadership, then it means there must be different styles of leadership. Okay, Niamatu is asking, which of the 4 factors of production comes first? No, that's the order. That's the order. You have to follow that order. Land, labor, capital, enterprise. And that's a huge topic. We can deal with it another day. Abdullahi, let's zero in to the enterprise. And the enterprise, we are not covering everything about the entrepreneur. We are covering the most important aspect of the entrepreneur, the leadership style of the entrepreneur. Now, the different books you're going to read and different materials will give you different leadership styles. I want to mention 10, just 10. And they're very exciting, they're very interesting. I'll mention 10, and then I will request us now to further zero in to transformational leadership. The reason I'm going to mention 10 very quickly is then we need to appreciate what is transformational leadership vis-a-vis the other leadership styles. So I want to start with number 1. Leadership style number 1 is autocratic leadership. And the keyword here is command. An autocratic leader gives orders. They give directions. Most of the time when we hear autocratic leader, we think of Muammar Gaddafi. We think of Idi Amin. We think of somebody like Adolf Hitler sometimes. But autocratic leaders, there are so many things about autocratic leaders that are great. For example, with all due respect, Paul Kagame is an autocratic leader. With all due respect, Sheikh Maktoum of Dubai is an autocratic leader. And if you look at Emirates, not just Dubai, even Abu Dhabi, the rate of growth that has happened in that country, it's phenomenal. In fact, not just Emirates, but also Oman, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait. The growth has been phenomenal and the leaders are autocratic. Autocratic is not necessarily negative. Autocratic simply means people who give orders. People who give orders and they expect you to follow the directions. They expect you to follow orders. That's what autocratic leadership is all about. And this happens. And I'm sure you have come across autocratic leaders when you're in school. I mean, you've come across them in the world of business. You've come across them from time to time. Leadership number 2, I call it laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. I'm sorry, excuse me. Laissez-faire simply means allow the people to make decisions. This is a leadership style where you trust people. You expect people to make the decisions. The key word here is choice. You give people a chance to choose. This was the President Mwai Kibaki's style of leadership. Very, very laissez-faire, allowing people to make choices. It has its pros and cons. And one major advantage of this leadership style is that people feel trusted. It works when the people you're leading are self-motivated. They have self-drive. They have self-discipline. Then you can allow them to make choices, to set their own targets, and to follow through them. This method does not work if you are leading a bunch of people who lack self-intrinsic, inner motivation. Then it backfires. This is allowing people to make choice. Now, for each of the 10 leadership styles I'm giving you, I'm actually defining them with the letter C. I struggled to come up with C's. You can see the first C is command. The second one is choice. I was trying just to make it more interesting. So I defined all of them with the letter C. So let's go to number 3. And then after I mention the 10 of them, I'll first give you a chance to ask me a question on any of these 10. Number 3, democratic leadership style. Democratic leadership style. The keyword here is consult. Another C word, community. A democratic leader follows popular view. A democratic leader tries to analyze what the majority of the people want. Democratic leaders believe in listening to what the majority want and following the popular view, following what is popular, whether it's in a country, in a company, in a community, in a church context, in a family context. It is allowing the majority to have their way. And there are some leaders who follow this method. They want to know what is the feeling, the view of the majority. They try to gauge the temperature of the community. The 4th leadership style is what we call delegative. From the word delegate is confer, to confer authority, to give someone the same authority as though it were you. That's what makes you to stop. When a cop raises their hand, you stop because they have been conferred authority. Now, there are some leaders, they confer authority to their subordinates. So you know when your boss says, do 1, 2, 3, that word is as good as though the director himself commanded you. Now, let's get to our concern today, which is transformational leader. Transformational leader. And I'm describing a transformational leader as one who raises others to higher grounds. A transformational leader is one who raises other people to higher grounds. And I have a picture on the screen that tries to show what I'm talking about right now. Who sees you as a leader? Who can quote you as a leader? Who can say you have lifted them up? Because leaders are not just the Barack Obamas. Leaders are not just the James Mwangi. Leaders are not just Steve Masiyiwa. Leaders are not just Aliko Dangote. Leaders is not just Mahatma Gandhi. The question is, how many people see you as a leader? And my prayer is that next year, such a time as this, somebody will say, you inspired them. You took them to another level. You helped them start a business. You helped them go to school. You helped them to believe in themselves. You inspired hope in them. And there are many traits of transformational leaders. The reason I picked number 8 is because 8 is the number of new beginnings. And a transformational leader is the person who helps others to have a fresh start. They give them hope. They lift them up to higher grounds. And I want to discuss some 8 traits of transformational leaders. Number 1, they are secure people. And the key word here is they are confident. Number 2, secure leader grows. They are always learning. They never graduate from learning. You see, the cup of knowledge of leaders never fails. They always have space to learn more. And they learn from everybody. They are never Mr. Know-it-all. You know a transformational leader because they listen to a watchman, they listen to a house girl, they listen to a security person, they listen to the cab driver, they listen to everyone. They want to learn. They never graduate from learning, because insecure people, they feel like they know everything. They don't like exposing their ignorance. Number 3, they empower others. This is the truth about transformational leaders. Transformational leader equips others. They give them opportunities to learn. They will pay their air ticket to go to Singapore to learn more, or a seminar like this. You know, transformational leaders will buy books for their colleagues. They will call other speakers. They are secure. If they're in the church world, they'll call other pastors. They are secure. They don't have a problem. They like giving their followers the very best. They like equipping them. Number 4, transformational leader influences. That means they inspire hope. They inspire others. They want others to feel energized. They want others to succeed in their personal lives, in their professional lives, in their relational lives, in their spiritual lives. They influence the behavior of others. They influence the society. They don't go announcing their leadership style. People just follow them. They can see it from a distance, and people follow them. People follow the leader naturally. The leader doesn't have to shout his leadership. It's like a tiger. The tiger doesn't shout his tigritude. It pounces, and everyone knows the tiger is around. Number 5, a transformational leader coaches. What's that? They guide. They help the people below them in setting the targets and following through the targets within strict guidelines. Because you see, we are defined by our commitments. Commitment is not a word. Commitment is an act. You don't explain your commitment, you act it. If you ever have to explain why you didn't submit the assignment in time, if you ever have to explain why you didn't submit the report in time, if you ever have to explain why you did not deliver in time, you're not committed. Committed people don't give excuses. They take full responsibility. They follow through their promise. And you're shaped by your commitments, not by your wishes. There's a huge difference between being interested and being committed. Being committed means you set a target, you put the timelines, you follow through, no matter the price you pay, no matter the pain, no matter the obstacles. Once you set the target, you follow through your commitments. You never leave tasks half-baked. You follow through them. So a transformational leader coaches, because she understands we are not at the same level with my coachees. I need to be patient with them. I need to show them the way. I need to guide them on how to set realistic, measurable targets, and to follow through those targets to the logical conclusion. Number 6, they mentor others. And the key word here is to model. They are role models. Douglas MacArthur, my most favorite general of all times, said that, I quote, "A good general does not push his soldiers from behind. He leads them from in front. He leads them by his own life." The Apostle Paul will tell Timothy, "Follow me as I follow Christ." That's the whole idea of mentorship, role modeling. Now, a leader, a serious leader, does not tell people what to do. He leads them in what to do. He doesn't tell them what time to go to work. He leads them in going early to work, in being organized. He speaks in the language he wants the others to copy. He doesn't use foul language. He wants the people following him to emulate him.